You believe that a man cycled all the way from India, passing over 8 countries just to get to Sweden, and the reason he did this was all because of love. Sounds crazy, right? But that's a true life story. This man's name is PK Mahanandia, but for the sake of this story, we are just going to call him PK. So, PK is a poor college student from India. Despite having very little, he has one thing that made him stand out. One thing that made people admire him so much, and that thing was in his finger. He has talented fingers that can draw beautiful portraits, and he made use of these talents to make little earning. People give him money in exchange of the portraits he makes for them. One day, he set up his canvas and made a portrait of the then acting president of India. This portrait gained a lot of attention and visibility, and it eventually went viral. This made PK really happy. Meanwhile, in Sweden, there was a young woman. Her name is Charlotte. One day, she came across an article talking about the Indian poor man who has made a successful portrait of the Indian president, and she was like captivated. She was so intrigued that she thought to herself, why don't I get a portrait from him too? That idea stuck with her, and soon it became real. She packed up her things and traveled all the way from Sweden to India just to get a portrait. The moment PK saw her, butterfly filled his stomach. He felt something like an electric spark in between them. I guess it was called love at first sight. He fell even more when she told him that she has come all the way from Sweden just to have a portrait made by him. As he drew her, he couldn't help but smile. When he finished, she paid him double the amount he has charged. The next day she came again, and he happily drew another portrait of her. Then the upper day she came again, and he drew another portrait of her happily. That was how their love story began. They fell deeply in love, so much so that they decided to get married right there in India. But sadly, heartbreak came shortly after. You see, PK was a student, Charlotte was also a student, and she had a job. She has taken time off to visit India, and her leave was fast coming to an end. So, she obviously had to return to Sweden. It was painful, but they had no other choice than to say goodbye. Charlotte hoped to return soon to see her husband, probably around August, but her mom advised her against it. She was of the opinion that she should finish her studies first, and she encouraged them to keep in touch through letters, and they did exactly just that. They sent each other countless letters expressing how they miss and love each other. So days turned to weeks and weeks to months, and finally PK graduated, and he couldn't wait to be with his wife. He couldn't wait to see her again, and he needed to go to Sweden just to see his wife. But there was one massive problem, a very huge problem. He has no money for flight, for train, for car, no money at all. But what he did next was truly unbelievable. He sold all of his belongings, and with the little he can afford, he got a second-hand bicycle. So without wasting time, he got on his bike and set on his journey from India to Sweden. So from India, he traveled through Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Turkey, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, Germany, Austria, and Denmark before finally reaching Sweden. The journey took over 4 months, but at last he was finally reunited with his wife, the love of his life. And with time, they had another wedding to celebrate their love. Their story is incredibly sweet. Until this day, they are happily living together. This, my precious friend, is what true love looks like. So tell me in the comments, what is the greatest thing you have ever done for love? It's Anthony Precious here, your favorite chef, reminding you to stay safe, stay happy, and stay healthy. Cheers.